So I think, although still people are coming in, I think we should start. It's a bit past. Hi, Nana. It's a bit past 6, so I think we can kick off. So welcome, first of all, to our session, Clarify Your Mission. We, as Anderhat team, I think it's still not too late. It's the last day of January. We will still wish you all a happy, healthy, and prosperous new year. Once again, it's great that you're stepping in again after last week. We kept you waiting due to technical issues. So thanks a lot to taking the time and come in. As I said, again, the technical issues we could not resolve, but this time it works. So we are pleased, really pleased to have you all today to kick off 2023 with a series of sessions we as Anderhat will offer throughout the year following our 10-step guide. Before I'm doing it, just a quick introduction of our team. Today there's Carol, my co-founder, Eugene as well is here. Pino is fast asleep because she's based in India, so she's sleeping. Paula and Margaret has families, things, taking care of children, etc. So we all welcome you very warmly to the session. And as I said, my name is Britta. For those who don't know me, I am one of the founders of Anderhat, and we started Anderhat in 2019 with the mission to support individuals to reach their full potential regardless of their life stage they are in. So we developed a digital platform which supports individuals on their back to work journey or relaunch journey or career reinvention journey with a community, but also with coaching. We build up a coaching series which is really especially done for the relaunch of a career. We also offer mentoring and we are working on a digital, more e-coaching product, which will also use machine learning to recommend to you jobs, upskilling opportunities, but also projects. And then we also connect our members to employers of choice, to our corporate partners like SAP, like Cosnova, BioNTech, to name a few. But our, community would not be so strong without our valued mentors. And today we have the honor to introduce to you Amina Carter, not only our dear member, but also a mentor, a speaker. Since quite the beginning, she first was attending one of our forums, and then the journey started, and also your own journey started, Amina. And Amina also then, I think I can say that, quit her job to found her own business, Grace Mediation. She's a certified mediator and resilience trainer. And so then she offered, when we started to kick off these sessions throughout the year, to start with the first one. But let me, before I give you the stage, Amina, let me briefly work you through the 12 steps. Carol, could you go back to that slide. So over the 2-3 years, we reflected a lot. We created the 3C, which is clarify, create, and connect to relaunch your career. And those are really 3 big steps, but you need more intermediate steps. So we developed the 10-step guide, which is also reference to our 12 sessions we are doing throughout the year. And today we start with clarify, and with clarify your mission, and also reflect on your passions, your professions, your financial goals. And we are using the IKIGAI framework, but also other frameworks. And then we continue. We look into work-life harmony, which will be then in February. We lead you through the research of what you could do to, update yourself again after stepping out of the workforce for a bit. We also support you on creating your personal brand as step 4. Prepare your CV, LinkedIn profile to really be there and be visible for what you are aiming for. Practice interviewing, and then also using our coachings, and then connect the third C really back into your professional network and enhance it, connect to mentors, and then reach out, apply for the jobs you before selected or identified as your future jobs. Negotiation. We also have Katie here, one of our dear members and mentors, who is also a coach and who will look into negotiation later this year with us. And and then with all the steps, we support you in wherever life stage you are in or where you want to pop in. So, and we are at the beginning of the year, so we look into clarify. And Amina, we are really thrilled to have you, and thank you for not only designing this session, but also facilitating it, and the stage is now yours. So we go.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So before I get started, I would like to share my screen. Here we go. Let's go back to the beginning. Just a second. All right, and here we go. Welcome, everyone. And thank you for the introduction, Britta. And I'm very happy to be here today with all of you and talk about the important topic of career clarity. And since it's been a long day for us, and I really thank you for joining the session at 6 o'clock. I know it's not easy to carve out time, especially time for yourself if you're a mom. So I really do appreciate all of you being here. So let's all just take a moment to fully arrive. And I'm doing this because I'm a resilience trainer and I know how stressful it can be. So I just want to get you all in one space and really arrive here. So to begin, I would like to invite you to just take a deep breath and let go of everything that's still lingering from today, or things that you think you need to do after the session, and just be here now so you can get the most out of this workshop. So, career clarity. It's a journey, and it took me years to find out what I really wanted to do. And I just wanted to take this moment to remind you that you should take your time and don't expect yourself to figure everything out in 45 minutes, the time of this session, okay? But if you do the exercises today and you work with the workbook in the time after, you will be able to get clarity much faster than I did. I think it took me 2 or 3 years. And then with the help of End Ahead, I could really get started with the last steps, but I'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, and with the workbook, it was sent to you.
Amina, may I interrupt you for 1 second? There's one in full presentation mode and the other one is not there. Perfect. Thanks.
Oh,
now it's perfect.
Okay, hold on. Okay, and with the workbook, which was sent to you earlier today, you will have a clear process and guidance of the steps that you need to take to get more clarity. All right, so let's get started. In the social media posts before the session, I said there are usually 3 types of people who come to clarity coaching. Those are usually either the ones that know what they want and but don't know how to get there yet. Then there are the ones who want to change something but don't know what that is yet. And then there are the ones who don't really know what they want, or if they even want to change anything, because nothing really excites them. And yeah, I just wanted to take this moment to invite you to drop into the chat which group you belong to. Are you number 1, number 2, or number 3? And that would really help me and all of us to know where you stand. So let's get the chat going a little bit. Okay, let me see. Where's the chat? Okay, number 2, number 1, group 1. Okay, who else?
You repeat the groups again for some.
Yes. Thanks. So, number 1 is I know what I want, but I don't know how to get it yet. Number 2 is I'm not quite sure what I want, but I know I want to change something. And group 3 is I don't really know what I want, or if I even want to change anything, but I'm just curious. Okay. Number 3. Okay. Yes, that's yeah, I see a lot of number 1s. That's really great. So that means you guys have already been doing most of the work. You're in the final stages of getting clarity. I see some number 2s, and those of you who are in group number 2, where you don't know where this is going yet, for you, the workbook is can be really helpful. And of course, number 3, for you guys, just take everything in. I will be giving you so many clues and hints of where you can look, where you can start. And in the end, you might decide to do something or not, but that's entirely up to you. But I think it's really worth exploring that. So, all right, without further ado, let me share again. Just a second. I hope this time I will share the right screen. Okay. And what do you see now? Britta, can you help me real quick?
Yeah, step 1, 2, 3. So you need probably the next slide.
Mm-hmm. But can you still see my presentation now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything.
Okay, good. Okay. So 3-step process for career clarity. And this is what the workbook is based on. The 3-step process that you can follow. That's 1, you turn inward.
Amina, you still have to click 1 time so that you're in presentation mode. Thanks. Now it's.
So if I slide over, you can see my notes.
It's fine now, Amina.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a bit confused about what you see and what I see.
All right. Slide over, but now it's all good. Thank you.
Okay. So step one is turn inward. That's a really important step for clarity, because you will start writing. You will start writing about your likes. You will start writing about the things that you don't like. You will practice the process of elimination, which is you remove everything from your life that is clouding your judgment, that is cluttering your space. And you will identify obstacles. You will go through a self-audit process, define your values, and then in the end, you will do the IKIGAI. And this is all listed in the workbook, so I will only briefly mention it here. And the second step is you turn outward, which is you talk to others, you research your market, you connect to your peers, a network, your supporters, mentors, sponsors, coaches, you name it. And as a third step, which is what I did when I met End Ahead and they gave me the opportunity to come in as speakers, you try it. You get out of your comfort zone, you do brave things, you try new things, and you see and find out if what you thought was your thing, it is really your thing. So this is the take action part. So for those of you who are in number one, this could be the next step for you, but we will see about that. So let's keep going. Before we get into the aspects of step 1, 2, 3, going inward, going outward, and taking action, I would like to define what clarity is. And clarity really is the transparency or the purity of something. And it's really hard to describe something that's clear, right? So if you think about water, how do you describe clear water? You would always describe it as something with the help of what's missing. So clear water is not dirty, right? There's no pollution. So it's defined by what it's not. And why, excuse me, why is clarity important? Clarity is really important for self-empowerment and self-determination. So if you think about what happens if you don't have clarity. If you don't have clarity and you don't know what you want, you will most likely be stuck, and there will always be people to tell you what you need to do. I like to compare it to a blank canvas. And if you don't know what kind of picture you would like to draw, there will always be people coming in, taking your paint and taking space on your canvas, drawing on your canvas, maybe using some of your paint. And this is the exact opposite of self-empowerment. So this is why it's really important to know what you want, to have an idea of the picture that you would like to draw, and then align yourself with that, with focus and direction. And clarity also allows you to set clear priorities and then make consistent choices with what it is that you really want. And yeah, that's really the benefit of clarity. I really wanted to make that clear. It's kind of obvious because we know what clarity is, but I think sometimes it's good to build a framework before we get deeper into the subject. So I mentioned that clarity is defined by what it's not. And here we can really use one principle. Has something to do with our brain. It's called, we can use the process of elimination to get to where we want to go. And our mind works like this. So sometimes it's much easier for us to say what we don't want instead of listing the things that we do want. And that's because our mind remembers, or our brain remembers, the negative things much better than the positive ones. For example, if you touch the hot stove once, you will always remember it for the rest of your life. You will never touch it again. But if you, for example, have a beautiful day, you experience a beautiful day, let's say you're on vacation and you see the nice sunset and you have all these beautiful emotions, it's very likely that you won't remember it after a while. And the negative and painful experiences, they really stick with us, while the positive ones, they seem to dissipate more quickly. But the good news is you can really make use of that, and use the negative mind in the process of elimination. So we'll get to that in a second in an exercise. By saying what we don't want, we can easily get to where we do want to go. Okay. So I would like to share the workbook. Let me see if I can. So one good exercise that I would like to do with all of you is the process of elimination and making use of the negative mind. So can you please get something to write? Pen and paper is fine. You don't have to print the workbook. You can do it all in your journal if you like. And then you just please write down 3 things that you absolutely don't want. 3 things which you want to avoid. Thank you, Carol. And while you do that, I will keep talking to you a little bit. Let's see. 3 things that you don't want, 3 things that you want to avoid. And for example, you can say, I don't want to work in accounting, so accounting is a no-go. Instead, and that would be the second step, I would much rather work in, I don't know, let's say marketing. Or I don't want to work full-time. I want to work 30 hours and I want to have Fridays off. So if you can identify your no-goes, if you can do the process of elimination, you will already have much more clarity. And yeah, the good thing about that is to use it as a bridge to get to where you want to be, get to your goals. Okay. Okay. The second important step, I hope you're all done with the 3 no's, but the exercise is in the workbook, so you can get back to that later, okay? The second important step is identifying your obstacles. So if we look at it as a clarity journey, you have your starting point, you have your destination, and of course there will be obstacles on the way. And you have to, it's wise to identify them up front. So what are the things that are in your way? What are the things that you are unclear about? That could be a market situation, or what kind of degree is needed, or if you need a certain certification for a job. So really, if you want clarity, list your obstacles. And those can, of course, they can also be mental obstacles, things that, certain beliefs that keep you from applying to certain jobs, like thinking that you're not good enough to work in a senior position, that you don't have what it takes. Those would be mental obstacles. So it's really helpful to write all of this down to know what you're dealing with and what's keeping you from clarity. Again, we're identifying the things that we want to take out to make the picture clearer. And there's one important thing I would like to mention in that regard, and that's focus on the things you can control. And this is something that I always mention in my resilience trainings, because so often we get focused on things or distracted by things that we can't control. For example, the market situation. So if you tell yourself, yeah, I'm going to change my job, I'm going to apply to new positions once the market is more stable. We don't know when that's going to be. So this is really something that you can't control. And a mindset like this will keep you stuck, and it will cost you a lot of energy, because you will be waiting and waiting and waiting. And this is a very draining situation to be in. So my advice here is do your research, do your risk assessment, and then make a decision. And once you make a decision, then just roll with it. If you decide you stay at your job because it's the market is not safe enough and you don't want to, in this environment, you would rather stay where you are, it's okay. You can do that, but then own it. Okay. Don't be unhappy about it, or set yourself a goal to reevaluate again in 1 or 2 years or in 6 months. Okay, that way you will be less drained or not feel stuck. So the feeling of not being clear about where this is going is going to go away if you do that. And third, the importance of writing. We already started doing that. I mentioned it in the beginning. It's really good to write because, one, writing is a really good tool to get your thoughts organized and to also to check yourself. We have so many thoughts. I think we have over 6,000 thoughts per day. And sometimes we have the important ones and we miss them. So it's really good to write down the important thoughts, the creative thoughts, the positive thoughts, especially because so many thoughts are negative that we have. So the positive and creative thoughts, and organize them and put them on paper. And the second point why writing is important is because it's the first step of putting something that's intangible or still, let's say, in spirit, to pull that into reality. So at first it's just thoughts in your head, but then it's a sentence written on paper. And there's a lot of power in that. So I really advise you to start doing that. You don't have to use a journal. You don't have to write on paper. You can use a simple notes app on your phone. But regardless of the means, of the way you choose, writing is really important. Okay. And yeah, that brings us to the self-audit part of the workbook. what's a self-audit? So before we make big decisions in business, we do an audit, we evaluate every area of business, we do a due diligence, for example. And this is what this, I call it flower of life. It's my own invention. Normally this would be, I think, a wheel of life with different areas of your life. The exercise here is to give 1 to 10 points, to assign 1 to 10 points to each area to see how satisfied you are in each area of your life. And you don't have to do it now. Let's just quickly have a look at it. And you can already do it in your head a little bit, but then get back to it later and do it in depth when you use the workbook. But sometimes what I want to say here, in addition to the workbook, sometimes we want to fix a problem in one area, but the problem is really in another area, and we avoid touching that area. So in fear of really confronting what needs to be fixed, sometimes we get distracted and use another area. So for example, sometimes we say we want to move into a bigger house because there's maybe our relationship is not working, but we blame it on the living situation. Or sometimes, let's say, we're lacking in self-care, we're super stressed all the time, which causes a lot of conflict at work. So we say we're looking for another job, but maybe it would be time to look at your mental and physical health and your well-being and at your self-care practice, so you're not so stressed, and maybe that would change things in the work career area as well. So I think you get where I'm going with this. Yeah, and this is already the first assignment in the block number 1, turn inward. So let's see what else is there. The pyramid of needs. Yes. It's really good to know what we're motivated by. So sometimes we're motivated by lack. We need something, and this is why we want to make a change. And if we want clarity, it's really good to know where this need or this desire for change is coming from. And I really love this, the pyramid of needs, because it's really so simple, but it explains basic human behavior. So of course, we all have to fulfill our basic needs. We need food, shelter, we need water, we want to stay warm, and then, financial stability, we need financial stability. And this would already be one huge motivator to look for a career change if your current job is not giving you the financial stability that you need, right? Or if you don't feel happy with your team, with your coworkers, with your boss, then you will probably have a need in the next level, on the next level, which is belonging. Or if you're already very high up on this pyramid, maybe it's esteem. Maybe you would like to celebrate your successes. You're looking for prestige, appreciation, and all of this is really nothing negative. I really want to stress that this is something natural and that we all need. So there's really nothing to be ashamed about, because sometimes I think there's a bad connotation if we say prestige. We think about, we want the big car and the house and the boat. But yes, there's really, it's normal. And of course, we also want to learn, create, pursue, and achieve higher goals. So really take a deep dive and see where your wish or need for change is coming from, to understand just to understand yourself a little bit better. Okay. And yeah, the next exercise, and we're going to do that now because it will help us with the IKIGAI, is the values exercise. I don't know if you've done it before, but your values are really the things, your motivators. They're the things that get you going, the things that light you up, the things that really make life interesting, or they are the reason why you like a job or why you like certain friendships, for example. So I would like to invite you to pick 10 values and see where this is going. Maybe there's a theme. I think you will all notice that there is a theme. There's usually a theme. So yeah, pick 10 values, please. And then as in a second step, you can narrow it down to 3 to 5. And you have some time, so don't rush, but later, I think this is a really in-depth and really important exercise. You can go back to that later. Okay. Here we go. Sorry. Okay. Okay, now that you have your values, or at least some of them are the ones that immediately stood out, I would like to go to the IKIGAI. And what's the IKIGAI? The IKIGAI is really one of the few Venn diagrams that actually made sense to me. And it's a Japanese concept that refers to something that gives a person a sense of purpose and a reason for being. And you can experience Ikigai really in any area of your life. But the concept can also help you find your ideal career by locating the sweet spot, which is in the middle, which combines your passion and your talents with what the world needs and what you can be paid for. And yeah, let's look at the things that are missing again. We can really play detective here again and see how, what kind of clues the Ikigai can give us when we zoom in. So when we zoom in, there is a number one, we can see there is what's missing. There is a sense of uncertainty if you are not using your strengths. And number two, there's a feeling of emptiness if, let me see, if your passion is missing. And number three, there's a feeling of uselessness if what you're doing isn't really needed by the world. Or if you're not solving a problem, for example. And of course, there's no money. If everything else is fine, there's joy, there's fulfillment, there's purpose, but you're not earning any money, then of course you have chosen a career path that you can't be paid for. And that's also not so fulfilling. So the goal is to combine the areas and to get to the sweet spot. Or I also like to give this alternative to find Ikigai in other areas of your life. So let's say you have a really great hobby. Let's say you like knitting and you just love it. And it's your hobby, and you obviously can't turn it into a profession because you can't really get paid for it that much, but it can turn into a lifestyle. You can start a knitting group, you can start a knitting Instagram, you can knit your own outfits, you can go to knitting fairs. So this could become an entire lifestyle, and it can be so fulfilling that it will trickle down into other areas of your life. And it can trickle down into other areas of your life. So sometimes, yeah, it's wise to, or even good to find Ikigai in other areas, and not, try to only find Ikigai in your career, because that's, yeah, I think from my experience, it's not so easy to get all of these things together and to get to the sweet spot. Okay. But we have 15 minutes left. So let's answer the Ikigai questions, okay? The Ikigai questions are, what do you love? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you be paid for? Maybe you already have ideas. I saw some of you are in group 1. You already know what you want. So yeah, just reflect on that and put that on paper again, so it becomes really clear. And those who are in group number 2, who kind of have an idea but don't know, are not sure, maybe the values exercise already gave you a hint of what you love, of what's important to you. And while you do the exercise and answer the questions, what you love, what you're good at, and what the world needs, I will share a little bit more. So I said in one of the social media posts that I will also debunk one of the most common myths when it comes to the Ikigai, and that is follow your bliss and do what you love, that it's all about that. And that's completely wrong. So don't do that. The reason is there is a big difference between doing what you love and doing you, or doing what you are, what corresponds with your being, with your inner being. For example, let me give you an example. Doing what you love. You love many things, probably, just like me. You love cupcakes, you love 5-star hotels, you love massages, you love clothes, or shopping for clothes. But that doesn't mean that you should open a cafe, or that you should become a fashion designer, or work at a massage parlor. Only because you love these things doesn't mean that they should become your profession, okay? And that's the big difference between being a consumer and being a producer. So keep that in mind when you think about the things that you love. And I will share a personal example. I really thought I loved yoga until I started my yoga teacher training. I think it was over 100 hours. And then I started giving my first yoga sessions. And yeah, the entire joy and the feeling of peace that I had when I attended yoga sessions as a consumer was completely gone. So I didn't love yoga at all when I was being a yoga teacher. I only loved yoga as a consumer. Okay, so that was a learning, and I had invested a lot of money, a lot of time. But yeah, that makes it really clear. And yeah, let me move on to the second question. I'll just keep talking while you think about your skills. Think about what you're good at. What are your main skills? And I really want you to focus on your core skill set, your core innate skill set. And the questions, or the question that you can ask yourself, what am I good at? And what can I do without even trying? So sometimes that's an interpersonal skill. Some people say, oh, you're just really funny. You can always make people laugh. Or when you enter the room, I already know that it's going to be entertaining. And that's the thing that you should always incorporate when you do the IKIGAI and you think about your strengths. Because no matter how many years of experience you have, your innate skills will always be more important than what you learned in university or in school. If you look at the workbook, I already also put some really nice questions in the workbook. Ask your friends, turn outward. Ask your friends, when have they seen you at your best? And what were you doing when in that moment that they describe? Which skill were you using in that moment? So that can really give you valuable information about what you're good at. And what does the world need? And in this regard, I think it's really important that we think global, but act local. Okay, so don't think too broad. What does the world need? You can't solve the problems of the entire world. So think about, instead of world, think about community. What does your community need? Or it can also even be smaller than that. It can be your bubble, or what does your target group need? Or what does the market that you are working in need? Or if you are in, let's say, if you are in nutrition, or if you're in the medical field, what does this field need? Okay, so think about your industry, your niche. And then last but not least, what can you be paid for? And wow, yeah, sometimes you can get paid for things you didn't even know you could get paid for. So really do your research and research your market, your competitors. What are they charging? What are they offering? People who have a similar skill set. What kind of services are they offering and how much are they getting paid for that? So that's a really good tip when you think about what you can be paid for. So, and if you are into knitting, to stick to that example, so maybe there is a niche market. So go on eBay. Maybe there's a market for dogs, knitted dog sweaters. You never know, right? So yes, so we're almost at the end. Yeah. I really hope you enjoyed the session. I apologize for the sharing problems that I had. Yeah, what I wanted to say, last words. Change is not easy. So if you want to change your lane, change your career, it's not easy, it takes time. But you being here is already the first step, and it shows that you are willing to put forward the effort and to do something. And yeah, sometimes people don't change until staying the same becomes more painful than the change itself, you know. And that's why it's so good to be in an environment that instigates change, that helps you change, that challenges you. You want to get around those people who push you, who dare you to try new things. And yeah, I think with End Ahead, you have made an excellent choice. So I would really encourage you to stay on that path and to connect and become a member and to attend maybe the other webinars. And if you want to dive deep, work with a coach, work with a career coach, maybe even a creativity coach. If you're in a group 3 and you don't know what you want and what excites you, it's all about play, getting to know what you like, what you don't like. Yeah, working with a creativity or life coach would even be a good idea. Yeah, and that's it. And now we have maybe a few minutes for questions or comments or anything you would like to share, or if you have questions about the Ikigai. If not, I would also be super, super grateful if you could go to Menti. Sending you a link in the chat and just give feedback there. There are just two questions.
Should we all go there now, Amina?
Yes, that would be great. If you could all please click on the link and go to Menti and answer 2 questions.
Okay, we will do that. I only get one question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too, me too.
I try to refresh and then nothing happens.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let me see. Okay, try again. Can you refresh again? Is there another one?
Oh,
No. Okay. Then.
Doesn't work?
No, unfortunately not.
What could happen? What was the second question? So
the second was important, but let me post the other link again.
Okay, try again. Yeah.
Again, please. Can you please click on the link and let me know if this is working, if you see the second question?
So I push
No.
one and I do it, and then there's skip
Still the
question.
same. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, then it's not working.
So it's strange. We all can get in, but then the second, it doesn't refer to the second question. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, I think, Amina, this was incredible. So thanks for all the good tips and leading us through all your thought process. This was, I think, enlightening in a few ways. At least for me as well. So we do the Ikigai a lot. I myself did it a lot. And I also do it with my children from time to time. So I can only encourage everyone to look into it. And I think you really also brought out a few things which stuck with me, like change is not easy, and it's indeed, you know, you always think everyone is changing and moving, but it's hard. It's hard. You're quitting your comfort zone. You do something different, but if the rest is okay, then why not doing little steps? And but it's probably not always a change which makes you more happy. Probably it's inwards and looking at what you have and probably valuing it more. Who knows? But just not doing the exercise is not good. So to do it regularly is really like nice. And I also really love that you said you own your process of, you know, career reinvention, or you own your life. You know, you own your life and your career, nobody else. So you should be the master of it. So, and having now these tools in my pocket are definitely giving me a safer feeling. Thanks so much.
Just wanted to say we get a question, and if you want to share the second question onto the chat itself, because there are a few people who wants to answer it, I think. But yeah, if there's time.
Yes, thanks. But the second question was feedback about the workshop, and there were 3 questions. Let me see if I can rephrase it so you can answer. But it's
you can send to the participants afterwards. It's working again. We can try again. That could be also a way. Then do you get it? So if we, for example, also send the recording of today, then with it we could send the link to it.
Yeah.
Try it again. Would that help?
That would be great. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Then let's do that. Anything else you want to add before we continue or close slowly?
No, just thank you for joining. Thank you for your patience and for your understanding with all the technical difficulties last time and this time. And yeah, we're all learning. It's a process, and we can only improve and get better. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the session, and thank you very much.
Thanks for coming and designing such a nice session, and then being the first also during the year, but we are going to have more. And Carol, could you share again the slide with all the other dates we still have? And as we do, this one. So the 24th of September will be work-life harmony, and we are going to have Maria Luisa coming in, also one dear mentor who is looking at this a very topic because it's not only, and we heard about it, one is a profession and work, but then so that the whole Ikigai is in a harmony and a balance, you need both. You need to look at both. And but this one will be on a Friday, the 24th of February, and it will be noontime, so 12 hours. So we do reiterate. Then the next one in March will be again on a Monday at 6. So just be aware and follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, or we will definitely share about the sessions. And if you want to deep dive, you know, we do these sessions throughout the year, but if you have an immediate topic you want to deep dive, we also have on our website, you can click, we have coaching offerings, which for your CV, LinkedIn, just also one-to-one coaching sessions to really clarify your vision, or for 2 hours, or then more hours with a full coaching session, which will get you then prepared to your next step. So that you can also look at our website and we offer everyone who came in today a 20% discount, which will be valid until Valentine's Day. And so just that you know. And yeah, and we are also, you know, thankful for feedback, any feedback, what is missing, what you would like to have more, and we are happy to get your feedbacks. We also learn not only technical issues, but also content-wise. So without your feedback, we can't get better. And but we want to. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the session as much as we did, and hope to see you soon then on the 24th of Feb.
Hey everyone, thank you.